Peace, peace. Welcome to the show. This right here is Humble Beginnings. And I am your host, KJ. Y'all know right here on this Humble Beginnings thing, man, I simply move with this thing where I always say, no matter what adversity or diversity we go through, all we can do is simply live it through. That means we here for understanding. All we can do is walk the path, take it wherever we're going to take it. Y'all know before we get this thing started, I got to bring the gang in. You know it wouldn't be possible without the gang. So let me go ahead and bring the team up. All right, I got one more coming in. He might be a little late. All right, Matt, what's up, man?
What's good, brother? What's good, brothers?
Chef Joe,
Let's
going
do
on
it.
with y'all?
Can't call it brother.
Ready for a
How y'all-
good conversation.
How
That's
y'all
all.
feeling today, man? Y'all good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, every time I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I be like, man, God put me together very well.
Hey, man, that's what it's about, man. That's definitely what it's about. So I don't know if they see the title. You know, we're talking about fear today. You know, the saying is, why are we so afraid? So that's what we're gonna dive into. Waiting on Pops to jump in. He probably go jump in a little later. I saw him jump up there right before we went on, but he clicked back out. So he trying to get his stuff straight. But he did jump up at the bottom right when I went to go click for us to go live.
Get your ass in here.
So we got one more supposed to be jumping in. But we'll go ahead and run a first question. You know what I'm saying? Get this thing break. I don't want to be holding people too long. So first question. Since we're talking about fear, just in our opinion, Joe, is it hard for us to overcome fear? Is it hard to overcome fear?
Yes.
What you think, man?
It's definitely hard to overcome fear. You kind of have to embrace being not accepted to overcome fear, because it's also part, according to where we placing our fear at. A lot of people place their fear in what other people think of them or how they are perceived, you know. So in that situation, yeah, you kind of have to, it's more that the fear comes from a lot of other places. So you have to overcome those other boundaries to first overcome your fear. So a lot of people never overcome the other boundaries to even get to, you know, conquering that fear aspect that holds them back from certain things. I embrace it, you know what I'm saying? But even though I'm a person that embraces it, it's still some things that, you know, I want to do that fear keeps me from doing it. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself pretty stronger than a lot of people when it comes to being different and trying different things. So I can imagine somebody that's indoctrinated into what other people think and into the culture of being sheep. It'd be even more harder for those people.
Okay. Josh, what you think, man? Is it hard to overcome fear?
I'm kind of half and half on that. Yeah, no, it really depends on the person if they got a strong mindset to overcome everything they've been through. And some people got that weak mind, like they let the fear take over them and consume them that they can't get out of it. But I agree with Matt's point, and I agree with what Matt said, and I agree with what I say. It's half and half for me. It depends.
So yeah, I think that to answer the question, I think fear definitely could be very difficult to overcome. I think at the end of the day, people already know in order to overcome fear, you have to face it. So
Correct.
I think that's the hardest battle is you putting yourself in a position to where you're saying, okay, I'm going to face this fear, and then you're willing to walk forward. Of course, and that's pretty much no matter where you placing your fear at. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what it is, it could be, you know, like that of doing something different as far as a career. It could
Yep.
be as far as like relationships. It could be as far as many other things. Like you still have to, in order to overcome, you have to first walk into that. We got to address that fear. If we don't address the fear, we'll never be able to get over the fear. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when people always say, you never really know what you can handle until you actually place it upon you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. But yeah, definitely, I think for most people though, it's a fearful. It is very, very fearful, and they don't know where it would take them. So a lot of people, because fear can like embracing certain things could take you positive or negative, right? You can go multiple ways. You can embrace something and actually make you more terrified of a situation, because you could try to face it and then you might get harmed or you might get damaged in a certain way that now you don't want to do it no more at all. Or you can embrace it and realize, you know what, it ain't as bad as I thought it was, and you take it and be like, okay, I'm willing to move and push forward and drive forward onto it. So it can take you many places, man. It can definitely take us many places. So let's talk about this thing right here. Are we afraid of achievement, or are we just lazy? So we talking about when it comes to careers and things of success, right? Are we afraid to achieve and do things differently and push forward, or are we just lazy?
Is it one or the other, or which one is more?
Yeah, I'm about to say, for me, it depends on the person.
Well, the purpose is for us to identify there's a fear there. Now, if you don't believe that it's more of fear and it's more so just laziness, then it is what it is. I mean, you can answer for both, but you know, we geared toward the fear.
I would say both. I would say there's a level of laziness, but there's also a level of having to change. Because I notice, like, in certain aspects, when you become more successful, the people you interact with becomes different. The way you have to dress becomes different. The way you have to learn how to speak becomes different. You know, I learned that in certain avenues, even though I haven't gotten as high as I want to be, I've still learned that. Like, the more and more successful you become, the more and more you have to better yourself. You have to learn how to be, you know, more articulate with your thoughts and the way you speak and the way you carry yourself. And to some people, that is fearful, you know, going into a room of people from different walks of life that you've never been around before, and you're coming from somewhere where you used to being around people that talk the same, act the same. Now you're going around people that's more sophisticated. That can be fearful to some people, you know. I remember a lady had asked me previously to she wanted me to take a position to for like managing people's portfolios and stuff. And when she was like, you got to come to this meeting, you got to have the suit on, you got to be like this. It was a little nervous, you know what I'm saying? It was a little like, okay, there's gonna be an environment where I ain't used to. Can I hold up in that environment? So I could definitely see where that can cause some people to be fearful.
Okay. What you think, Josh?
Change is scary. Like, it is very fearful for a new career, if you're trying to fall in love. Change is scary. So fearful, yeah. And success. Like Matt said, that shit's scary as shit. They're just like me. For a prime example, I applied for the fire department. I know I can get the job, but do I want to change now? Like, that shit's scary. Like, going into a new environment, learning new skills. I mean, it could be a better skill, but do I really want to change? I like my lifestyle right now. I like to travel. My fear is getting into that position and I can't travel like I want to, or having the time to do what I want to. Laziness, it depends on like you said, it depends on the person. You got some niggas in the hood that just straight lazy and don't want to work. So it is what it is.
And let's say, example, you're a chef, you know what I'm saying? You can become very skilled at your position, and they may offer you, hey, we want you to come and cook for Donald Trump and his family one day or something, you know, just something like out the norm, you know. As to some people that might be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, glad you brought that up. I had somebody off like maybe 3 weeks ago. So somebody offered me a job to go cook for Alabama. Go campus, go cook on the school campus. I told him I think about it. Like, it's just that fear of change. Like, I'm settled in Atlanta. Like, do I want to move to Alabama?
To be. for a person that's outgoing and want to be social, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to think too, the environment you in at campus, you know what I'm saying? It brings a level of socialness as well. Even though the state may not be that social. You on the campus, University of Alabama?
I think it was. Either to be a chef.
30,000 people. You know what I'm saying? That's a big university, and that's a prime university as well. You get a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it could be, it's a thing of both. Would depend on the person. It all depends on the person. Some people it could be a lot of fear, and some people it could just be them just simply being lazy. I think when it comes to me, excuse me, it probably like when we talking about doing something new, it's like it'll probably lie more on the fact of being more lazy than the fear. Only because I don't mind because first of all, it has to be something I want to do, period. First of all. Because if you bring it up something I don't want to do, this ain't fear, nigga. I just don't want nothing to do with it. So you get you know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about something that I want to do, I don't have a problem with doing anything that I want to do, you know what I'm saying, or adjusting to something that I want to do. Cause I like learning new stuff. Like I'll be quick, like even like right now, I'm changing jobs just because I want to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Put a 2-week notice in. I'm done with that assignment. I'm waiting. I'm about to start the next one. So I do that naturally because I like to do things differently. I give a couple years somewhere, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with that. I had my fun. I learned what I need to learn. I want to move on. Now, when it comes to like relocating and things of that nature, it's like I'm a small town guy. I like small towns. I don't like metropolitan areas. I had the benefit of moving through metropolitan areas when I was younger. I could care less about a metropolitan area. I don't like cities. I never liked cities. Didn't like them when I was young, and I definitely don't like them now that I'm grown. So whenever if you telling me something about moving, so like to a city area, I wouldn't be afraid to do it. I just wouldn't want to do it because I know it's someplace I wouldn't want to live. So it'd be like, what would be my purpose for doing it when I wouldn't even want to be like in like an area like that? I like small town stuff. I like not having to drive too long. I like not being around traffic. Like I like that small hometown feel. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't want to have to go through all these. I'm just I like where I'm at. I've always been like that, but I've always been a person though in my life. I like what I like, and if I don't like it, I don't mess with it. So, but I definitely think it could be both though. I know a lot of times it could be fear. Now I think like if we go like in the realms of like relationships, you see those fears, in certain aspects and things of that nature. But we're gonna walk into that, so I ain't gonna dive too much into that. So this phrase right here, right? This is something that I was thinking about. The phrase "I'm just minding my own business." You hear people say, "No, I'm minding my own business," or if something happened, I'm minding my own business. Do you think this is a mantra that we tend to say it stems from a method of fear? Like when people be like, "No, I'm just gonna mind my own business. I don't want to get involved with that." Do you think this stems from fear?
Hell yeah, because if you get involved in my business and involve you, you might get hurt. That's one reason. That might be the only reason.
What do you think, Matt?
I think it's a level of both. I think it's somewhat fear, but also it's somewhat I ain't gonna lose my life over somebody that, what I'm saying, wouldn't do the same for me, or somebody that ain't even in my close circle. You know what I'm saying? Because some of that is that as well. Because
but that's the same. That would be the fear though.
Not necessarily, because
the fear of losing your life.
No, it's the fear of this person ain't that relevant to me to lose my life for that person.
So you're talking about worth. So is it valuable?
Yeah. Okay, I got sometimes it's the worth, because if the same situation happened with you, I might say I don't give a damn about this. Let's make it happen. But somebody else, man, I'm minding my business because the worth just ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna go through all this hassle and watch my back over somebody that I don't even value that highly. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's somewhat worth. I think a lot of it is worth too, because some of the people that say that if it was their child or their brother, or their fear wouldn't be there, or somebody close to them, or a family member or friend, that fear probably wouldn't be there. For some people, it still would be there. They probably just would proceed. Because just because you proceed don't mean there's not fear there, but they would just overcome it and go forward because it's somebody they value more highly. But I say the same thing. I'm not doing that for no one I don't value as much. And then a lot of times when you do that, people also have to learn how to overcome stuff themselves. A lot of times when you do that, they still get themselves involved with the same situation, and you have to inherit issues that they don't even have to inherit. How many times we've seen, is the prime example, you would jump in for somebody or help somebody with their issue, and they'll become cool with the person, and you have to deal with that now because the person don't have that bond with you to even reconcile with you. So they still have an issue with you, and you end up having to beef with a person that they're now cool with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that happens a lot. So I think that plays a part into it when people say, I'm gonna just mind my business. And also one last thing, you don't know all the particulars. A lot of times you get yourself involved because you're hearing a side or you think you know what's going on. You don't know the level of those two people that's even involved with it when you get involved with most of these situations. And a lot of times you get involved and you find out later you didn't even have all the details. You could be going against somebody that's really could be an ally to you. It could be somebody you could build with, but because this other person telling you a story, you closer with this other person, you get yourself involved against something else that ain't even had to do with you, and this person could have been an ally.
So what about and as far as not jumping in something like physical, what about if it's something simple as just like calling the law enforcement? You got a lot of people that when it comes to just calling the law, they be like, I'm gonna just mind my own business. They won't even do that. They don't have to physically get involved.
Yeah, I don't think that's the physical fear. I think that's the fear of being accepted, because in our culture, there's a stigma on calling the police. Because you will hear people that ain't got nothing to do with gangs, ain't got nothing to do with certain crime element. They be like, I don't want to be no snitch. I don't want to be no snitch. It's like, you don't even got nothing to do with that. Like, I hear people, like, back in the day, back in the day, we read them old stories. If you wasn't a gang member or in the mafia side, you couldn't even call nobody a snitch. But now you got everybody saying it. You got regular people labeling people, oh, he snitched. It's like, you ain't even involved with this to even be speaking on something like this. But that fear factor of being accepted is huge. So I think a lot of this comes from acceptance, and that's one of the things I think comes from acceptance, along with a lot of other things. But that's one of the things I would say. People don't want to be seen as corny.
I don't disagree with none of what you said. I definitely agree that it's some aspects is fear, and then some aspects there's a value component to it. Like, is it even worth it? Like, I might not even just give a fuck about who's involved in this situation. They're not worth it for me to get involved. So I definitely agree with that. But you spoke to something which led to my next question when you were talking about being accepted. So my next question was why are we afraid to be ourselves? So what y'all
being judged, fitting in, trying to fit in to the crowd. I mean, when I've been younger, it was cool, but now as I get older now, I don't give a fuck who will accept me or not. I'm doing my own thing and probably doing better than you, the ones who talking shit and all that. So the fear, like I said, the fear of being judged. People judge you, so you got to fear of that, acceptance and all that. But like I said, the older I get, fuck it. I do me, you do you.
Yeah, I agree. It's a natural component, and then it's also a component of how you were raised. I think it's natural for us to want to be social. In general, as humans, we want to be social, interactive with other people. So over the course of your life, you see situations happen. You remember growing up as a kid, it might have been different for you, but a lot of people growing up around brothers or sisters or a lot of family members coming up, they got picked on for being different. You kind of get shaped and molded to now want to fit in through societal standards. And then a lot of times the parents, certain parents, they raise their kids to fit in because they don't want to have the outside kid that gets spoken about. Now, I've seen a lot of parents, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, because this is what the other kids are doing. You need to move like how the other kids are moving, because they don't want to have that outside kid that other parents laugh at, other parents that say that's different. I see people talk about, I'm looking at a lot of conversations lately, and I hear people say they want to have a pretty child, not because they just want a certain type of child, because they don't want other women talking about their child. They like other women talk about ugly kids. So a lot of people, they position their kids to now be followers or to now want to fit in, because it's more about them than the kid's growth. And that plays into the kid growing up. I need to fit in. I need to be accepted. They may not know where it comes from, but it establishes a feeling inside of you that you never shake off for a lot of people.
People still doing that a lot.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's worse now with social media and everything. You got a lot of I hear a lot of females saying people be laughing at people's kids on social media. They be calling people kids this, they be calling people kids that. So They think that them meeting a certain type of guy that looks a certain way, they have to have that, or that man thinking he got to have a certain woman because people don't want their kids to be laughed at. And this goes up.
Or like you say, the clothes. Like when I was young, I used to get picked on because I ain't had the name brand shit when I was in elementary and in middle school and all that. And when that's just like with my vehicles. I wanted this, I wanted that. I bought all the luxury cars and shit. As I get older, man, I'm not spending all this money on this shit. It's no worth for it till now. The clothes and shoes, I still buy nice shit at times because I can afford it now. But that's not my thing no more.
And if you want to be, and if we look at the origins of that, in my opinion, the same factual. I'm got no factual data to back up this. If you got a bunch of men in the house, right? They don't talk about fashion. Even when we was in middle school or whatever, a bunch of men around each other, they rarely talk about what you got on. It's when females come around. If you look at once single parent became more households, became raised more women, you see more dudes now more focused on, I had to look this way, I had to look that way, because females are more about being pretty and looking a certain way. This, that, more dudes about morals and standards. I know me personally, being around my dad, it was more about dressing like professional more so than just like stylish. It's about not having your pants down, speaking a certain way, sitting up in the chair. You know, if you look at people that's raised more about women for the most part, not everybody, not a lot, but it's more about got to have these joints on, got to look this certain way, got to do this because they care more about, you know, the social outlook of the child being pretty. That's why you look at this era of men, you have men killing each other over Jordans, over chains, over stuff to make them look pretty.
Yeah.
And, you know, back in the day, men killed more for standards and morals when they had more fathers in the household. Now they kill over, you know, image, because people are raised by women that put in your brain image is a big thing.
Correct.
Well, I think that you know, women are the ones who actually teach culture, though. So when we talk about like the fashion, like that thrives more within the women, because if men, if like how you said, if it was just men could really care less, because most men would have been playing ball, doing this, doing that. They would have been doing. It really wouldn't have been caring about dressing nice, because most of the activities they would have been in really wouldn't have required it. Even when men step out, like most of the time you stepping out, we stepping out because of the chicks. So it's because of the chicks that will make us want to get fresh, so to say.
Yeah, before I started getting to the females, I go play with the dog, I go play some football and basketball, and still go hang around the homies. You know what I'm saying? It's smelling bad, sweaty. But once you start getting into females are very judgmental, you know what I'm saying? And so once you get around that, they put in your mind about presenting yourself a certain way more so than dudes. You ask a lot of dudes. I was looking at crew season, and Trill says most dudes learn to dress from females. It's when they first girlfriend or female they got early that say, you don't need to wear this, take this bullshit, y'all put this on. A lot of dudes, they got a lot of swag. It came from females giving them game on what looks good and what doesn't look good.
Yeah, because you can't cater into, like I said, women actually teach the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like whether we understand it or not. It's not a bunch of dudes, like, because most dudes, like, why would we care? Like, I'm not gonna wear this because of another nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes might do the stuff like high end expense buying, but not just for the look, not just so I look better. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like men might buy some material thing just to you know, stun on a nigga and be like, yeah, nigga, I got this, you know, $60,000 watch on. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a level thing. It's not because it's more fashionable than yours. Like, we care less about the fashion itself. We typically don't get into fashion until, you, like how you said earlier, until women come around and women get involved. Same way with people wear like where a lot of guys even wear their hair and things of that nature. Like, they don't really care about that around. Like who going to the barbershop to get an edge up because they care what their homeboys think? Like, nah, nigga, you want that line up straight, nigga, because you know you about to come across some chicks later. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't care about that.
Or the cars you drive. Like I say, I used to get into the cars. I wanted this, I wanted that. Well, first, because I ain't had it I ain't never had it. I was admired it. And second, because like you say, status.
And you got to get the dude on another note too, Kevin, before you go to the next topic. You got to get the dual monitors too, y'all. The job sitting this joint hard, and it's perfect for like streaming. You know, you could bring the other screen over and stuff and put it right, just slide it right over when you're playing a video or something.
I know you're talking about. I see a lot of the engineers at the spot. They always had them just get up like
This
that.
joint hard, yo. This joint perfect for this.
Mm-hmm. Do multiple things at for you to multitask because it give you a bigger view than one screen.
Exactly, definitely.
So we're gonna dive into something real quick, you know. So we're gonna start talking about relationships, right?
Mm.
But I got a question before I jump into that.
The hottest topic the hottest topic socially right now, relationship.
Yeah. I mean, everybody ties
Gotta talk
everything
about that.
into those type of battles now.
Gotta talk
So
about that.
I've heard people say this before, and I've heard a couple conversations previously about something like this, even a while back. Do you think men today are afraid of the positioning that women have today, as far as like because of that, like the independence level and things of that nature? You think men are fearing like being involved with women because of their so-called statuses today? What y'all think?
I think some men are envy and jealous. I
You
wouldn't
don't
say
think they
fearful.
intimidated?
There you go. There you go. Because the independent woman and all that, they don't. Yeah, they fear like their manhood is being taken. I guess because you got the independent woman.
So you think they are? So you think a lot of men are intimidated?
Yeah.
Cool. What you think, Matt?
I don't know the percentage of it, but we just saying a lot. I would say, yeah, I would say there's definitely a section of men that are fit. I'm getting an echo somewhere. All right, but I would say there are a section of men that are kind of fearful of that because when you're around somebody that's very successful or high up there, it requires you to now raise your standard, and some people have created a comfortability in their life where they don't want to raise their standard. This is what I'm comfortable with. So some people I agree, some people they just don't want to do it because they just don't want to do it. But there are some people they know dating a female, it comes with that, being pushed, being challenged. And some people just don't want to deal with that. You got a lot of guys that they want to work at Gold Kiss their whole life, not even getting a supervisor or manager position. They just want to be a worker their whole life. And if that's cool with you, that's cool. But if you meet a certain female that she making a ton of money, her requirements are going to be higher for you. And some men just don't want to deal with that. And then a lot of times money also, according to how you get your money, it breeds a level of sophistication. Not for everybody, but for some people. For people that get more money, they now feel like they have to become better in other areas. So you're dealing with somebody get more money, and you start making more money. You start feeling that pressure to, I'm making a certain amount of money. My environment is changing to start being things that you're not ready to be. So that's my take on it.
So yeah, I would say because I've been hearing a lot of people bring this up now. Because at first I didn't know because I ain't usually one to be asking people certain questions, but I would say now, after being in a lot of these spaces and hearing people talk, I would say a lot of men are afraid.
Facts.
A lot of men, but I would say too, a lot of men are afraid because these women's independence is also showing a lot of these guys how they're not ready. So a lot of
I
these
agree.
guys just aren't ready. Like
I agree.
they're not even ready for competition, like how they think they are. That's why when a lot of these women step up now in these places, I think that's why it's intimidating. I think when people walk with that mentality of men taking care of everything and women fall underneath, it's an easier mentality to grasp because it's like one sided in a sense, and it's like, yo, you have to be this, and then she just has to fall underneath or she steps behind you almost. But when she can be beside you and playing those same realms and even surpass you, I think that does terrify a lot of guys.
And
go ahead.
my fault. I ain't meant to cut you off. And when you argue with a female, the first thing they do is they go for what they know affects you the most if you show weakness. And a lot of guys don't get confidence until they're making a certain amount of money. A lot of guys' confidence are attached to their income. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but hey, a lot of people' confidence are attached to their income. So if a female is making more money than you, the first thing she's going to throw up is, I'm a female, you know what I'm saying, and you under me, you beneath me. So that could tell guys' confidence down a lot of times. And if you don't, like I said, I agree with you. We say it proved the higher a female is, the more you have to establish your leadership. And if you're not ready for that, you're going to fold under the pressure. I agree with that 100%. Because the more and more female makes, the more confident and arrogant she becomes. And if she don't have that guy to kind of humble her, she's going to take over, or the relationship is going to fall apart. And a lot of guys can't deal with that, you know.
So is it safe to say, like, if I go off what you said, you were saying like how a lot of guys' confidence is tied into like their income. Is it a safe assessment to say that a lot of these niggas then would not be ready to be leaders because they don't make enough? Because if they don't even have a confidence until they got a certain financial position, that means they're not ready to lead it. But they don't even have confidence.
Yeah, they just have to because there's some, I agree with that, but also enough money to you is based on the lifestyle and family, or you know, that you want to have. So if you understand that you're a regular simple guy, you want a regular simple woman, and you want a regular life, you probably still could be able to lead. But some of these guys, we want the 9s and 10s, we want these Instagram joints, we want these sexy joints, we want these joints that when you walk with, people like, God damn, you know, when you go for a female like that, it's gonna require a certain amount of financials, because everybody wants that type of female. So some guys are smart enough to know themselves and know this fits me, and some guys, they aim out of their league. And when you aim out of your league, there's going to be an unsurety about yourself, because you know you probably don't belong, or you're not ready to be in that avenue. So people are trying to lead people they're not ready for. So I agree, these guys are they need the financials to get a certain type of female.
So if that's the case, they're just buying pussy. You can just offer money just to fuck. So that's all you doing. You buying their time and pussy. You want something like that?
Yeah. But I mean, some people want that relationship, is we're in that relationship. You don't necessarily have to buy it, because a lot of females just want the image of having a dude that got money. You know what I'm saying? There's some dudes that can buy it, but a lot of dudes think they have to actually spend money on females. But some of these dudes that got money and got a lifestyle, they don't even have to spend a lot of money on these females, you know, because she's just enamored that she's with a dude that's getting it. Like, some females are just attracted to you getting it without them even having to have their hand out.
Man, you show me a female like that, then. Cause most of these hoes goddamn gold diggers. Literally.
Yeah, but we're in Atlanta too.
Nigga, you probably saw me up there in goddamn Columbia.
Yeah, some everywhere, but I'm just saying, when we're in cities like that, you know what time it is, because people go to cities like that to meet a certain type of people. You know, the same way you're going to Atlanta to come up, the females are going to Atlanta to come up.
I mean, I agree with that.
Yes.
So I got a question. So since we're talking about the leadership and all this other stuff like that outside, because I get it. We say confidence is tied to, you know, the financial position and the essence. Outside of finances, is there anything else you think men are fearing when it comes to leadership outside of finances? Because we're talking about, you know, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, because otherwise it'll be like how Chef Joe said. Like, listen, if it's just money, you just pay for the pussy, and you can keep it going. Because I'm pretty sure if she in it for the money, she'll accept the money, and then y'all can keep going on and reunite over and over and over again without no problems, as long as the money stay where the money is. So, outside of finances, is there anything else that, you know, men fear as far as leadership?
Responsibility.
That y'all have seen.
Taking responsibility, taking ownership.
As far as what?
For the mistake. If oh shit, I spoke too soon. Hold on, let me rethink this.
I go while you're rethinking it. I would say a few things off the top. I would say is sexuality.
Damn.
You know, you talk. A lot of people know that talk to a certain female. That's why dudes care about body count more. It's gonna be a higher standard. You know, talking to a certain female that everybody wants, it's gonna be a higher standard of attraction. I would say that's one. I would say
So wait, before you keep going. So is the sexuality part, is it a fear that she has a high body count, or is it a fear of how he's going to perform sexually?
It's a fear. It's both. But
I say
would say
both.
more so him performing. Because you know, if a female got a lot of body, a female has a high body count, She knows what she knows what good fucking is and what good fucking ain't.
Yeah.
Like, she knows what a good fucking is and what a good fucking ain't. So that's why you hear certain dudes, they be like, they glad they got a chick when they was 18, 19, because they don't, the more and more experience you have, the higher the standard is for the next person. I will also say,
And I ain't mean to cut you off, man. And to add to that, it's like some people size. Some people like they size that make them fearful and all that. That's one of mine. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm too big, too small. Well, if you just got there,
and I would say the number one thing is outside of the money component. I would say this is across the board. It's just the leadership thing. I know you say it's kind of tying back into the question anyway about leadership. I would say a lot of guys just scared to take on that leadership role because dealing with females in today's era, it requires a higher level of leadership than previously, in my opinion. Because I believe previously you had the family, the community behind everybody to guide y'all. You didn't have the pressures of all these outside factors. Today, it requires a lot more level of knowledge, a lot more level of assurity of self, a lot more guidance, a lot more keeping that female emotions in check. It requires a higher level of dominance. It requires a lot more out of you to have a female follow you today with all these distractions. And a lot of guys don't know themselves to be able to lead somebody else to where everybody should be going, a whole family, you know what I'm saying? And I put myself in that position at one point, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting to that point where I'm fully sure of myself and I can do it now, but I even put myself in that position, I know where I want to go, but it was hard to be myself fully and lead somebody else because I was easy to get distracted by outside noise and outside factors that may influence that female. And I didn't have the leadership capabilities to pull certain females away from that could have been pulled. Now, there's some females, the best thing to do, that ain't the one. You got to be able to have the level and sight to be able to see when someone ain't the one as well. But there's some females that they can be the one. It's just that guy doesn't have that leadership. He hasn't established that assurity in himself to be able to make her confident enough to follow him. And that's a lot of it as well. It's too many. You have to have a higher level of leadership today to have somebody follow you, because there's so many people saying you should follow me rather than follow that person. So what makes you different?
It sounds like a lot of work.
A lot of work, man.
Dang,
boy.
Or like example with you, if you just show yourself and you say this is how I'm leading, it'll naturally happen anyway. So a lot of it is just.
But I also don't want those type of girls neither, though. Like I'm a homely type of guy, but I like homely type of girls too, though. You know what I'm saying? So I also don't run into that aspect. Like I don't like chicks who are into the social media like that. I don't like chicks who like to be out like that. See, I also don't like those type of girls neither. Like a lot of that stuff that y'all are explaining, I guess it sounds weird to me because I'm like, don't deal with them type, but I naturally don't care for those type anyway. So I think it's just easier for me because I don't want to be around it anyway.
But even being sure of yourself, you attract more people that's like you when you just be yourself rather than trying to be something else. So even if a guy's an outgoing person, if he just be himself and he doesn't try to appeal to certain people, he's still going to attract what he likes. But a lot of people, they meet certain people and they try to appeal to that person, or they bend their non-negotiables or what they like to try to satisfy another person and lose themselves in the process.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree. I think that's definitely a part of it. I think your personality and all that other stuff plays a factor into it too. Because I mean, like for those who chase like those girls, I was about to say city girls, but I guess it's accurate. For those who chase those girls within those cities, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you get what comes because we're talking lifestyle here too now. So you get what maneuvers with the lifestyle. So if you got a fast-paced lifestyle, you typically be around fast-paced women. You know what I'm saying? I think most people probably make the mistake because you got guys who see. I think you get people who they want both worlds. I guess it's like
I agree.
That saying they say cake and eat it too that never made sense to me, especially if cake is on the menu. Because I'm assuming if cake's on the menu, you're supposed to eat the damn cake. Otherwise, why the hell is cake on the menu? But I digress from that point. If you chase it, I think there are guys who like they want some of the fast life, like they want to meet these girls in these scenes and things of that nature, but then they want her to be like homely as well. You know what I'm saying? They want her to be that I want to be in the house, like the cook, clean type that don't want to run the streets. But it's like almost like they want to meet them in the streets, but then once they get with them, they don't want them to be a part of the streets no more.
So basically, turn a hoe into a housewife. That's what they want.
No,
not necessarily though, because she don't necessarily have to be a hoe.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just an expression like they want the girls in the club to turn them into like girlfriends and all that.
I don't even necessarily know if it's the club. You want the social.
It's like you want some. It's like you want to meet somebody very extroverted, but then once you get with her, you want her to become introverted now.
So you trying to? So they want to change people. That's not good. That's not good in a relationship.
I think a lot of it is people wanting to change people.
Yeah,
that's not good.
But I think women are the same way too. Now I don't think it's just a guy. I think a lot of women like those guys who out and about and are letting them guys getting a lot of attention and a lot of girls on their job and all that other stuff like that. And then the moment that guy get with them, they want that man to only be for them. And it's like, the hell, like, now you can bring yourself to that question, like, oh, what are you doing that's supposed to make me now tone everything that I'm doing and how I'm living down?
Yeah, me personally, this is what I say. Certain guys, and me personally, just to be more personal with it, I want to meet somebody that's very social and outgoing, but at the same time has respect and knows the boundaries of a relationship. Because you can be I don't mind if you're in a relationship with me and you're social and outgoing. You like going out, you like doing certain things, you're very, vibrant. I'm cool with that. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't be that because you're with me. I like that energy about you. But those females typically are social people that are very social, typically be social with everybody like that. It's just not them being out. They typically, you're gonna have people calling their numbers. They're gonna get their numbers to other guys. They're gonna be dancing when they feel the vibe, they're gonna be dancing with other guys. Certain females do know how to manage both. They know how to be social, outgoing, and then when they get in a relationship, still be social and outgoing with still respecting the boundaries of that relationship. Now,
so
that's kind of difficult.
How would one know boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a general question. How is, because we come from, like, a lot of us come from different upbringings, right? And there's one of the things I always say, like, there are some people who experience certain things in relationships, but then there are some people who don't experience certain things in a relationship. So what may seem as a common sense, like how we like to say, of relationships for you, you might cross people who they might not know nothing about that. So it's like when you say boundaries, they might be like, I didn't know this was a boundary. I didn't know this was a thing, especially in this era, because people share so much now. Like, I think privacy is a big issue today. But it seems like a lot of people don't care about that. I think that's a boundary.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
There's so many people who feel like that's supposed to be that way. So how would one learn boundaries?
Well, it would just be on the confinements of that relationship. If she don't agree with it, you shouldn't pick that person. It would have to be established. Now, I agree with you. A lot of times it's not established and people just assume, or they always said that they wasn't going to do that, and the person just thinking that once we get together and they start feeling me, they're going to change. And that's what a lot of people do as well. They feel like once I get with that person, I start rocking with them, going out, get to know them, they're going to change. So I think that's a part of it as well. But I would say, kind of like how you said, the boundaries, people are different. I know some people that even in the confinements of a relationship, they still party with other guys, talk to other women, and they don't actually cheat. And their significant other is cool with that because they're just very social. They come from a very social lifestyle, and the environment they were in, everybody rock with each other, and people just talk to who they talk to. And so it's just according to that person. I agree with you.
Do you think this would flow better if it was opposites that were attracted to each other? Or you think it would flow better as far as relationship-wise if they were more within likeness?
I think it would flow better if they were more in likes, but the only thing is people are not attracted to people that is just like them. It's usually that people are usually more attracted to people that's kind of different from what they are. Now, as far as the guidelines, if you want to marriage or work relationship, I think being more similar usually works, or being able to just understand each other and flow in the dynamics and respect the dynamics of that relationship, even though y'all indifferent. But a lot of people that are indifferent can't do that because certain things indifferent about the other person is gonna compromise certain things that you don't want them to have. So,
Do y'all think people today are afraid to be alone? So they just stay involved with a bunch of people because they're just afraid to be alone, whether it's friendships or relationships or coupleships?
it's kind of so hard today because so many people today are, like how you said, they come up in this culture with, I don't even think people think about being alone. I think some people just so much involved into everything that's going on that they never even take time to think about anything. They just move. I don't think like, we came from an era where we were alone. Sometimes our mama wasn't there. I know we can, like, people today don't even be at the house by themselves. I remember me and you was growing up. It's times we in the house for the whole days. Times my mama gambling. I'm at the house 2-3 days by myself. So you get kind of used to certain things. But today, people are even when they're mom and the people are so much social, they always on Instagram, they always talk. I don't think people even get a chance to think about being alone. But in totality, I would say, yeah, people generally are uncomfortable. I don't know if that's the same thing as afraid, but definitely are uncomfortable just because they haven't done it as much. Now, I may be tied to afraid, but I would definitely say uncomfortable of being alone.
What do you think, Josh? You think a lot of people are afraid to be alone, man? This is friendships and coupleships, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are afraid to be alone because they they so used to having everybody around them, like Matt said, everybody in the house and all that shit. When I was 12, 13 years old in the house by myself, just like y'all. So
Yeah, we are.
I was probably military. Everybody asked why I don't want kids. I'm so used to being alone or just taking care of myself. So me personally, I'm not scared. I would like to have a companion, but if we talk about this generation age, oh, they're scared. They're afraid of shit because they can't do shit by themselves. Shit.
And that's the first time. And what's crazy is when you're alone, and to some people this may be not unfamiliar with them, the new generation. That's the first time really that all your flaws and everything, you have to think about it because you have nothing really sidetracking you from everything that's going on. When you become alone, your mind starts racing. Your mind think about everything you're doing wrong, everything you could do better. You start to actually dissect yourself and look at your flaws. A lot of people, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You distracted when you always hanging out, you always going out, you always talking to people. You never actually get a chance to understand yourself. Loneliness also kind of make you look at yourself. You can't control your thoughts because nothing distracting you. Your thoughts start saying, "Damn, what's that? I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did this." You just start racing. So
Agreed.
Yes, I definitely think people are terrified to be alone, but I think it's righteously so. I mean, we are definitely social beings, so I mean, we yearn for those interactions. You know what I'm saying, with people. I think I think as far as relationships, I think we yearn for it. I think this day and era, we just don't know how to do it anymore. I think we definitely drifted further and further away. I don't think we really was too sure on how to do it before, but I think we at least had more interactions with each other. I think now we're drifting so far away from actual human interactions as much, and everything is internet based, and most of our connections are over the web. I think that it's definitely more awkward for a lot of people to be able to connect with each other. So I definitely think it's even harder than what it was before, and I think it's gonna get worse too. Personally, I definitely don't see it getting better because I don't think people we just don't know how to do it. We go by what we sell, what we choose to sell people. We sell people like we sell people avatars of ourselves.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like the movie Avatar, that creature you see when they plugged in ain't the same when they unplug. It's like jumping on the internet. What you see people sell when they on the internet ain't the same person when they choose to unplug and put the phone down or log off their laptop. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's harder just because we drift further away, and the further we get away, we start to forget how to connect with each other.
And to add on that, people, as like back in the day, as we call it, fronting or not being honest about their intent and themselves. They trying to or how can I say this? damn, level up their life or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Upsell themselves. If we talking in the market world, upsell themselves and not being truthful.
With some of that upselling yourself, if you're trying to run a business, I mean, I believe there's a certain level of that that's productive as well. Upselling yourself, as long as you don't lose yourself into that.
True.
Yeah, people, whether we like it or not, the customer likes to be upselled on stuff. Like people like to feel like they're getting something that's high value. Even when you buy a camera, you buy a certain computer or something, you buy certain stuff to cook with. It feels better when you buy it, when you feel like it has a level that's different than the other things. So I believe someone that is, productive, it's just people lose themselves into that, and they become the person that's being controlled rather than the person that's doing the controlling.
Okay, so you upsell yourself, but and the person is expecting that person, but when you get to know them, it's not the same.
Well,
So
upselling yourself and lying is two different things as well. I mean, you tell me, Kevin, you literal. You know what I'm saying? I believe you can upsell yourself without lying.
I think that's a very fine line between the two, though, because I guess tell me an upsell that wouldn't necessarily be a lie.
Okay,
upsell. You would technically just be telling about yourself,
huh?
So okay, well, give me the example first. What would be somebody upselling themselves that they're not actually lying? I'm trying to think.
Okay. I would be like hype, like playing the sport, or like when you talk to a female about like sex and you're upselling yourself on how you can perform. If you upsell yourself, you actually get. I mean, you still have to perform. You perform, and you may not be the best in the world, but to her, she may feel like you were the best. You know what I'm saying? She may feel like you were the best. So I mean, I would say that it wasn't a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because you just confidence.
Okay, so if we take it in the realm, because I wanted to just see exactly where we was gonna go. So if we take it in the realm of you selling a belief, because you can believe in yourself, and it's not a lie because you really believe in yourself. Like if we use the example about sex, like a lot of people like they'll sell, they penis game or vagina game, whatever may happen. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a lie because you could believe it. So if you truly believe it, then I can see you saying, no, that's not, that wouldn't be a lie. Which don't mean you still couldn't let them down, but yeah, in that realm, so I can see that not being a lie. But most of the time, dog, usually when somebody upselling, unless it's something that's like you genuinely believe in like that, they typically lie. Because at the end of the day, all you can really, you'll be selling yourself at that point.
Well, that's because people. I mean, I'm not disagreeing that typically. I just say it doesn't have to be. I don't disagree because people typically start. Once they get into that realm, they typically go overboard with it, and then they become. Most people don't manage it because even in sales, certain things like example, I was a real estate agent in New York City. They teach you about puffing, which they say is different in line. Like you like this home is amazing. These bedrooms are great. But it ain't that great till you see it. But at the same time, it's opinionated because to somebody it is great. So they tell you to market it like.
Well, if you telling me it's great and you don't think it's great to you, you lying.
No, but it's great. It's the market thing. It's written.
I understand that. But if you don't think it's great and you telling me that it's great, you lie.
What if you come to it and it's the perfect home for you and I sold it to you? Then it was great.
No. But we're not dealing with the aftermath. We're dealing with the going into it because that's what makes the lie. So if you don't think that it's great to you and you're selling it to me as if it is great, then that would be the lie.
No, because there's a lot of things that may not be great to you, but are great to others that you understand that's great.
Yeah, but you can't. But see that's the thing. You can't speak for other people while you're selling it, though. That's what I'm saying. Like now, there are ways you can word this that it doesn't sound personal. So if we take that for instance, right? And a person was to say, This house right here, I've showed this. I'll put it in the red. Like, yo, I showed this house to several people, and the response I've gotten is that a lot of people found this was amazing. They found that this was a great home, because now you're not selling it from you, but if you selling it like from your placement and you don't think it's great, that's a lie. But if you selling it predicated upon others, that's a different story.
Yeah, because if somebody say, hey, LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players ever, they may not personally believe LeBron James is that, but they can't deny that he has proven that, and people believe that, so they don't have to personally say.
But that's also two different conversations being had too. That if you sell it, when you selling something predicated upon, because if you just openly say LeBron James is the greatest player ever, automatically people are going to assume you're speaking from you too, though. Because most people don't make statements like that, and they don't even be including themselves at all. So that's why that's kind of weird to even hear that within person. Like,
so when fast food restaurants say we have the best burgers in town, everybody.
A lot of advertisement is lying.
That's advertisement.
I'm about to say no. A lot of advertisement is lying. That's a part of the game, though.
Yeah,
my thing is, let's not act like it's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is a lot of lying now, because a lot of them, there's people who know they shit don't compete, but they still have to put an advertisement towards their brand. Now I'm saying, so that they know they be lying.
Yeah, because I was saying, hey, Duracell, Energizer, all of them think they got the best battery. They all think that my battery is top notch.
But I don't think I wouldn't say I don't think they got it, but they gonna sell it. Because you gotta sell. I mean, you gotta do your job too. That's the whole purpose of that. Because watch this. A good salesman knows he has to lie. Would that be true or false?
True.
Or withhold the truth.
But you got some people. There's a lot of people who consider omission to be a lie. Omission to be the exact same thing as lying. So that would still be the same thing. It would be kind of lying.
Omitting the truth, yes, sir.
So I'll give you one more example before we move on. I know we can
go ahead.
If I join you and your boys, I ain't gonna mention the name of this podcast, but you and your boys' business as far as like martial arts and everything, right? And I'm trying to get some people to join a gym. Y'all open up a new gym, whatever. And I say I mark it as we, because I can't say I, because I haven't done a lot. But what people typically do is they'll say, we have done this for this much kids, this, that. And the person believing it assumes that when you say we, you're a part of that. But I may not be part of that. Am I lying? Because what this organization has done.
If you're not a part of it, you're lying. But if you are a part of it, then you wouldn't be lying.
I'm a part of the organization though.
So what is the line that you're selling though?
I'm not selling a lot because I'm not marketing.
No. I said, what is the line? What line are you telling them? You saying
I'm marketing it as the company. We the company. The company.
Yeah, but what are you saying? You're saying we do what though? We are what?
We have worked with this much kids. we have trained this in these avenues of work. We came from this background, but it's not we. It's mainly you and your boy.
No. But that wouldn't be lying if we all are part of the same organization, because because you're not talking directly to the physical aspect of it. You're talking about it from the business perspective. So from the business perspective of it, that's what that would be though.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I mean, I just consider stuff like that like kind of upselling, because you're putting yourself into that to benefit from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn.
Who is that?
I know who that is. I don't know if I ain't gonna say his name directly on it, but I know I know who that is. He said it's manipulation, whether you consider it a lie or not. Now, if we're gonna talk in the realms of manipulation, I would agree with this, because you can tell the truth and be manipulating somebody, but all manipulation is not lying though. So that's the thing with that though. Now, because men do this as far as getting the women too, because there is an art of being honest with women being honest to a degree to still get the panties, even though you don't have to tell a lie, but you still can manipulate her, because women also move with this thing of, I want to know the truth and tell them the truth and the truth. So you can give the truth and still manipulate a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely get where he's going. So in the realms of manipulation, oh yeah, you can get the manipulation on both sides.
Mhm.
Whether you telling the truth or you telling the lie.
Yeah, whoever that is, though, I'm gonna need them to use the other weather rather than the weather outside, though. But we can go on. We can continue on. Though. It's the joke, whoever that is.
You stupid. Hey, why are people so afraid to stay in relationships? So
stay in relationships?
Yeah, to stay in relationships.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna say, I'm asking this question of why are they so afraid to stay in relationships? Because y'all have heard me say this time and time again. I hear people talk all the time of how fast they can jump out. You do this, I'm gone. You do this, I'm gone. If I see this, I'm gone. If I cross this, I'm gone. People don't have they'll tell you what to make them leave a relationship in a fucking heartbeat. But when it comes to really talking about what will really make you stay and build with somebody and not leave. And I address this because we be around spaces where people talk about, when they talk marriage, they love to say marriage is the commitment. And I always say that's not true. Marriage is not the commitment. The commitment is the fucking people who are in it. Because commitment, in its definition, commitment would be you choosing to stay, you showing up every day, you working through what we got going on. That is a commitment. Being married is a fucking pact. We made a pact. We went through, said our words, and said, oh, okay, we pledged our allegiance to each other until somebody fuck up. That's not commitment. We just made a pact. But the commitment is us. So my question, the reason why I'm asking this question is, why are we afraid to stay?
You ever heard of any of y'all ever heard of FOMO?
What is it? Spell it. What is it?
FOMO. It's an acronym. FOMO.
Fear of I can't think of the last one.
Missing out.
Fear of something.
Missing out.
There you go.
Yeah, but go ahead. I got you, Josh. Fear of missing out, but go ahead. I'm gonna build on that though.
Well, shit. I mean, Kevin, he said my answer, commitment. People scared of being a commitment. I mean, waking up to the same person every day, like, I guess if they could tie in the match shit, fear of missing out. You got so much opportunity. I mean, so many women out there. This being tied down, I guess, to one person.
Yeah, it's so much. It's two things to me. Two main things. A lot of factors, but two main things. I would say the first one is fear of missing out, FOMO. You know, people, if we go to certain examples, when you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, you're turning down other people. You're being faithful. You're committed to this person. And a lot of times you're sacrificing other opportunities to build with that person. Some of us have experience in that, you know, turning down numbers, turning down other opportunities because of our girls or whatever. And when that doesn't work out, the first thing most people do is think back to all the opportunities lost being with this person, how the setback was. So people coming up see that. You know, people see their mom being with their dad 20, 30 years, sacrificing the career to be a housewife, or sacrificing the career to have a regular job and work with the father rather than, you know, chasing. And it didn't work out. And some of these people have regret. So now the first thing that happens when anything happens in a relationship, you start thinking about what's out there. You know, what are you missing out on being with this person? It's hard to forgive a person when you're constantly thinking about what else is going on. It's hard to build with a person when you're constantly thinking about everything that's going on outside. You know, your girl's doing this. There's trips going on. You know, your boy is doing that. They at this bachelor party. They acting the fool. They going to this college campuses, having a good ass time. You in the house with this one person, and then the first time y'all have an issue, your mind goes there. What else could I be doing outside of building with this person? That's one thing. The second thing is with everything, like Kevin hit on it earlier, we talk about nothing is private anymore. So when nothing is private anymore, no one wants to be looked at as a fool. So people are now looking for the perfect relationship because nobody wants to get laughed at. So you're looking for perfection. I don't want to ever deal with no drama because I don't want my business out there. I don't want people laughing at me. So they're trying to find this Prince Charmer or this perfect woman that's never going to do anything to have a bad look on them because the outside view is so enormous now. Like back in the day, you had privacy. People didn't talk about all that stuff. So when cheating happened, when certain things happened, it stayed within that family. Nowadays, you get cheated on, certain things happen. Everybody's knowing about it. But go ahead.
You about to respond, Josh?
Well, I'm about to respond when he said like back in the day it was private. No, not really. I mean, you still have some as we loud mouth motherfuckers gossiping people. Like, no offense to the old folks, but they was gossiping. They go tell you, run and tell your business. So it wasn't really that much private.
But it was kept in the family or around their circle, though. Like if they had the card game or your moms and them together, that's different than people now just blasting it to the whole city or to everywhere, you know.
Yeah, as far as in a circle, it definitely was more private as far as that. That's the reason why a lot of like the other stuff got out of hand, because them people of that generation had a code. They had a code that they stuck to, and even when a lot of the fuckery went on, they kept it between and amongst themselves. So they definitely had a code. But I think to answer the question, I think a lot of people are they're just not ready going into it. So a lot of that the whole fear of missing out. The fear of missing out is there because you're not ready to be where you're at right now anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you're still worrying about what everybody else got going on, that proves that you're not ready to be doing what it is that you're doing as far as the coupleship is concerned. So I think that a lot of people just are not ready. And I think a lot of people, and this would tie into them not being ready, but a lot of people overestimate what they're able to handle within relationships too. A lot of people let they feelings of they love or how much they like somebody get them in there. And then when they started dealing with say maybe one or the other maybe got they're not as clean as they should be, you know what I'm saying? Or you come across things as like infidelity, or maybe it's a tone and delivery type of thing with the way that they talk and the way that they communicate. A lot of people aren't really, really ready to do the work that's required, because relationships are work. Hey, anytime you show up, you're talking about work. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So most people, I just don't believe they just ready. They're not really ready for work. Just like how a lot of people, they take a job. They take a job just because they need a job, or they feel like they need a job, or most people jump in relationships because they feel like they should be in a relationship. That don't mean they actually showing up, that they coming to work now. They might do the paperwork and walk in there, but that don't mean they really actually ready to work. And I think that's what people run into. They just not ready to work.
And I would say lust in the background. The reason I would say that is a lot of people get together today out of lust more so than, so you're learning the person as you get into a relationship. Because back in the day, there was a background to people getting together. You kind of knew a history about them. So nowadays, when you only get together to lust and you're learning them as y'all in a relationship, the second that lust is over, what holds you there now? You don't know that person since y'all was 12, 13, like how we used to back in the old days when people grew up around each other. They had that history of, I really fucked this person. I really, I know them. I know they in the dark secrets. We got a bond together. There was a bond built a lot of times before y'all even got into a relationship. It was kind of like you, KJ, you know what I'm saying? A lot of females you mess with, females you knew all your life, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't do that no more. They're meeting people 2 weeks from a different side of the states, different side of the country, meeting them in 2 weeks. It's a relationship happening out of lust, because you don't know that person. So anytime something happens, as soon as you start feeling them, you're out. There's nothing there to say, I'm going to stay with this person because I have that bond with them, or because I know they can come through. You know what I'm saying? I know they're going to get it together. The first mistake they make, you're out. Like I said, there's no background no more. That's the downfall. The best thing about options now is you have more people to choose from. The worst thing about options now is you don't have no building background to what the people you're dealing with. So.
Yeah, and that goes back into what I was saying earlier about the whole connection thing. Mm-hmm. So like because people have so many options, people don't even want to stick around and connect. It's like all you gotta do is upset me, and I will leave your ass.
Exactly. It's like me. It's like we all on this platform. Got a connection with each other. If somebody says something out of hand, it's not like fuck you immediately. But if it's somebody you only knew a week and they say something out of hand, it's easy to say fuck you, I'm moving. No, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that building there. And that's the same thing in relationships today. No one builds no more. No one actually gets to know the person even 6 months, even just knowing a person 6 months with just being friends, people ain't even doing that. You know, you meeting people and 2-3 weeks later, you're like, let's make it happen. A week later, people moving in together and stuff these days. So that's what comes with that. So
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's what, and that's another reason too of why I say that. I think it definitely will get better no time soon because people ain't about to start growing closer together. If anything, we're gonna drift further apart.
Further apart.
Because we definitely ain't on no track of getting back closer. Because I don't know, man. Shit look a little crazy out here. This shit look crazy out of here. Hey, do y'all think? Do you think people have a fear of being controlled, or do you think people don't mind being controlled? This is for men and women. It was something. One of y'all said something earlier because I jotted it down. I had wanted to bring it back up, but I didn't want to interrupt you. What y'all think about that?
I think with females is definitely fear because they're the person that's expected to follow. So I think it's a healthy fear in some cases. In some cases, it's a
fear
aspect to it. You know what I'm saying? Because like how you say, you got daughters, Kevin. Some people got daughters. I don't want my nieces. I don't have daughters. I got nieces. I don't want my nieces just following a dude just to be following a dude. This is your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of dudes that'll lead your ass off the cliff and you'll be all jammed up. So I think that's healthy in a certain aspect, but I think certain people, even when they come across the right person that can guide them, they're so afraid of being led that they're never going to give that position up. You know what I'm saying? Even if the person is a good leader. So certain people don't know how to identify a good leader to follow and what people to not follow. And then as far as dudes, I would say that I don't think it's just in a dude's nature to be controlled. Now, a lot of times you get certain dudes that they understand they're weaker than a lot of men and they're cool with being controlled because they have no other choice. But I think dudes innately don't want to be controlled. You know,
and I agree with that. Like controlling, you telling me what to do, blah blah blah. If it's for the betterment of me, okay, cool. But we just talking straight shit and downgrading me and trying to control me. Nah, that ain't gonna work.
So what if she tell you that every time she go to tell you what to do, she say no, Josh, listen, I got your best interest at heart, so just shut up and listen.
Oh,
you said.
I did say that. First of all, I'm gonna tell her to watch her tone. She ain't gonna tell me to shut the fuck up. First of all, you have to talk to me respectfully. But if it's something for the better of me, and it better be something for the better of me.
What if she tell you, she's like, listen, I know what I'm talking about. I just need you to shut up and follow.
I mean, I have to see what it is. I can't see that.
Oh man, sound like you ain't gonna be too sure.
But
I said like I would say I treat it the same way I would do going into a situation when it's like say like martial arts. Like I would ask the question, what is it that you're trying to do? Like what are you trying to get done here? You know what I'm saying? Like in the martial arts realm, like, yo, hey man, look, you do this is a spiritual build. You know what I'm saying? You trying to build just a confidence, you trying to like this is it just recreational for you, or you trying to be a fighter? Like what is it that you're trying to do?
Yeah.
I said it would be pretty much the same outlook going into the concept of being controlled in other aspects. It's like what are you here for? Like
I can see that.
Because some people they'll align with you where you don't actually technically have to control them because nigga they on board anyway. So it ain't even a mechanism of controlling them. It's like, yo, nah, I'm with you. I can't. I fucks with you because I'm with you and I'm rocking with you. So that don't come into play. And then some people like might be super challenging. Some of these women might want to challenge, and you might have to tell her like, listen, shut up. I got it. Let me lead. Like, let me show you. I got you. Let me do this thing, and I just need you to follow. So I think the conversation would have to be had too of like, why are you even here in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Some people, it's like she might just need to be taken care of. And she might be like, yo, you where I need a man to be financially stable, and I'm cool being a housewife because I don't want to work no job. So that might be on your, you know what I'm saying, on your path. You might be like, good, because I don't want you working anywhere, and I need somebody who's gonna be home. See, it can work depending on, you know what I'm saying, the layout of your situation. Some people, no, I need you to have other things, because if you're not working and I'm always working, then you're gonna stay blowing my phone. Then you're gonna keep asking me questions. Now you need a hobby or something, because without you having a hobby or you got too much idle time, I can't get work done because you're gonna annoy the hell out of me. So it's like, I don't know, like it's like, why are you here? Like, what do you want? So we gotta have a conversation. Like, what do you want going into this thing? So we can then, you know, map out how it's gonna fit. And that'll be for the people who are particularly within it.
I agree with you, because I don't want no I don't want no female that's chasing the bag as well, because that's what I do. So we ain't gonna have no time. But at the same time, I don't want no female that's at home either. I don't want your whole life built around me. I want certain things that inspire you to go after. I want certain things that make you feel, you know, great outside of me as well. I want you to have your own identity. I'm attracted to that. You know, I'm attracted to when you're doing things that makes you happy, you know, seeing your growth, seeing you building things that makes you happy. But at the same time, I don't want that to be more purposeful than your husband. This, you know, than your family. You know, you leaving the kids at the house all the time because you rather at the bag. Nah, one of us got to be there, and it ain't gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? If it comes down to one of us, I got to be the one chasing, and you got to be the one more at home. But I still want you to have, you know, your own purpose. I want you to be working out, volunteering, you know, doing the things you like to do. If it's you like teaching, you know what I'm saying, that inspires you, teaching kids. I want you to go do that. You know, but don't get consumed by that. And don't be masculine because you're dealing with all this stress and chasing the bag. Because it brings a certain, when you're chasing that bag, you develop a certain attitude too.
Most definitely. All right, fellas. That's all I pretty much have for us, man. I don't know what happened to Pops, man. Pops supposed to jump on with us, man. He ain't came. He jumped on when we first came on. He ain't came through. But you know, we keep this ball rolling. Y'all know how we do, man. Before we get up out of here, man, you gotta let the people know where they can find you, man. Hey, tell the people they can find you. Matt, we start with you, man. What you gonna do?
Matthew Washington, Facebook.com. Holla at me.
Hey, Matt, just before you go, MV Third Photography he said, I agree with Matty. He redid the weather. He clowned my spelling or not. Killer, hit me offline when you get a minute. I was just about to hit you in the chat too, so I'm gonna definitely hit you. I was literally typing, yo, right before this. I'm glad you said it. I'm gonna definitely hit you. But Josh, tell the people they can find you, man. What you got going on?
You can find me on multiple sites, man. You can find me on Instagram, Chef Joe with the Pots 2. TikTok, Chef Joe with the Pots 2. And YouTube, Cooking with Chef Joe. And to post some more video. I did do another food review this week, so it is on my YouTube.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. But yeah, man. Y'all already know who I am. You know what I'm saying? This is KJ, man. You know, we doing this thing. I'm gonna definitely be back on Thursday. I gotta hit a couple of my team members up. I'm gonna do another Is It Disrespectful? We're gonna attack these boundaries part 3. So I'm gonna make a panel out of it, of course. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta hit my girls up, man. See if my girls ready to jump on and dive into it. Cause I definitely need both sexes for this go around, because I need these opinions on both sides. So we're gonna definitely do another Is It Disrespectful? One of the panel joint. We're gonna do a boundaries part 3 on Thursday. You know, around the same time, about 9:30. You know, go into it, and you know, that's pretty much all I got right now. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this right here has been another one, man. Hey, we'll holler at you guys. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.